Okay, so music, we all love it. Chances are, if you're like me, you want to do something with it because music is your biggest passion in life, apart from gaming and annoying the absolute heck out of all of your friends. So, whether you're into metal and you want to be the next SLIPKNOT or MGK, or whether you'd rather be like Nicki Minaj or any one of those other generic pop groups now, that's your choice. But you're going to need a producer, and I'm going to be that producer. Let's face it, it's the perfect path for me. You get to be controlling, you get to have a big vision and work with people. Did I literally say you get to be controlling? That was a joke. That was a joke. However, getting there is a different step because the music industry is it's terrible. Things are way overpriced. People are out to get you. It's just cruel, genuinely. Which is why, if you're like me, you're going to be thrifty and smart, and you're going to be just like the sharks you're going up against. So, there were a few things I needed to research before this project, the main one of them being equipment cost, advertising, and contracts. Because if I'm going to make this into a business, I'm going to make it into a business the right way. First of all, starting with the equipment. Fortunately, because I've been doing this for about a year-ish now, I already have a lot of the equipment I need. Roll the beat footage. I have one epic keyboard, the gaming PC, the gaming mouse with the D's Nuts logo. Can I have 2 number 9s? And a large soda. I know. I have Ableton, and I have Pro Tools. Gary, what do you think the best option is? Oh, you think I should just stay with what I have now and possibly invest in a future setup as I need it? You give very good advice. I am farming you for views. I hope you know that. The very first step in anything you're going to need is some sort of audio interface. The one I have right back here is a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. You can find these for used or new. Because of the price range of mine, there's not really a difference, but as you go up and up in the price, instead of spending $4,000, you can maybe spend $1,500, which is definitely something to keep in mind. Next is software. I use a mixture of Pro Tools First and Ableton Live Lite. Both of these are the free versions of that software. Each come with their pros and cons, but the other major one that's worth mentioning is Logic. Logic is Apple exclusive. This is a very Apple-centric industry, which makes it even more funny that I'm using Windows and a gaming PC. Luckily, I can run Mac technically. I'll get into that a little bit later. So, what I would need then right away is the full version of Pro Tools First, which is the normal Pro Tools, which will run roughly $200. After that, I already have my MIDI controller right over here, but the pads on it are a little bit weird, so I'm planning on buying a new one and just using that one for keys. The one I'm looking at is a Novation Launch Key. And the price is around $150 if I remember correctly. I don't know, I have it on my monitor. Instead of all the men you see on here, trust me, there is actual information. I totaled the cost of the equipment that I would technically need to get, which is what I explained earlier, like the new MIDI controller and a new mic. And that total is here. Now, if you wanted to start completely from scratch, this is something you've been wanting to do for a while and you have a really good chunk of change saved up, well, going through everything that you'll need, which, if you are uninformed, will include a MacBook Pro, a very expensive audio interface. I just used mine in my example. Just a bunch of high-end stuff. You are looking at this much money. Yeah. At least. And that's with using the equipment that I have right now as well. Oh, hey, editing Shayla, something else that I just cracked my knuckles while I was saying that. Something else that needs to be brought up is financing. If you want to buy a piece of equipment right now and you absolutely have to have it brand new, and I think even some pre-owned sites will let you do this, you can finance it. Personally, I don't like that because I don't want to be in debt at all. So that's not an option for me, but it is one that exists if I absolutely need to do it in the future. Now, as far as contracts go, this is probably the most terrifying part of the entire music business in and of itself, because people turn into sharks when money is involved. However, what you can do is, if you clearly outline it, and if you work with the artist, and if you have nice terms to begin with, you should be good to go. I know this personally because I was working with a producer earlier in the year. Shout out Ted Skolitz. He's a really great guy to work with. And a lot of what I would base my contract off of is going off of what he said as well. Okay, so now we get to advertising. Advertising will be your best friend. And no, I do not mean going on Instagram comment sections and saying, oh, can you check out my mixtape? Oh, can you check out my mixtape? There are special designated areas on Reddit and Discords and this and that, well, Discord servers, that can help you promote yourself. There are services online like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, if you want to be that shady with it. Sites like Fiverr can help you get your name out. There's tons of advertising that you can actually make money from. As far as actual post advertising on Instagram and Facebook, it'll cost you roughly 40 to 70 cents per click, but how you measure that is you just put in the amount you're willing to spend up front. They do all the heavy lifting for you. That's where a lot of the math is involved as well, but that's on a more niche and per basis thing. For me, advertising it, I'm new, I don't really have that big of a fan base yet, so it's not going to cost me too much. Really, a lot of that is kind of TBD. I looked at it and I can spend as low as $35 and as much as $3,500 on advertising. And if it was up to me, I would rather take that $3,500 and probably get a car before I just advertise my terrible songs on Instagram. Okay, so now's the part to where I've been working for about 8 hours on this project at least, and I see that I still have to give an account of how I collected my data. My adventures collecting my data were pretty smooth, honestly. I didn't really run into any problems. One very comedic thing that happened was while I was away, for like 2 seconds, my computer blue screened and I ended up losing like an hour's worth of work because it didn't end up actually saving. That was pretty funny. I like that. Oh yeah, by the way, I hope you like Far Cry 6 gameplay, because that's just kind of what I decided to record over for this. I needed a break. So yeah, apart from that, honestly, it went really smooth overall. I already know the sites to go to because I've been looking into this for about a year-ish, year and a half now. I'm using a program called DaVinci Resolve to edit my video, and I've made a good few videos in Resolve before, so I know my way around that. My adventures collecting and analyzing data pretty much involve me sitting down in front of my PC, putting on 9-inch nails, and just Googling, and then compiling everything into my enormous 2.5-page long Word document. I mean, it wasn't too bad. Video editing itself is just very time-consuming work, but it's something that I really enjoy doing, so I didn't really feel it too much. I knew this project was going to be a lot going in because I put a lot of detail into pretty much everything I do. At first, I was thinking I bit off a lot more than I could chew, but when I actually sat down and started working, I ended up having a lot of fun with it, so that's pretty great. So yeah, overall, I'd say I had a pretty smooth, pretty fun experience. I was able to talk about something I'm passionate about, and I was able to apply math to it, so, you know, I feel like all the criteria is met there. And like I said, my immediate steps for how I'm going to use these results in the future are to keep looking for good deals on just the more minor things I need to upgrade in my setup. So, now back to the regularly scheduled video. Yeah. The main things I'm going to use math-wise are addition, subtraction, multiplication. I did say addition there. Please ignore my minor speech impediments. Addition, I'm going to add the cost of any equipment I might need for this or that. As far as multiplication goes, I'm using that right now mainly to calculate sales tax and the number of hours times the number of things I would charge if I was doing an hourly rate, which I don't really plan to. As far as subtraction goes, that's finding the difference between two things. That's how I applied that with this project. Mainly it was just basic addition, subtraction, knowing percentages. Yeah, this project's definitely gonna help me out with my future because I'm getting a rough idea of what everything looks like now. I'm calculating how much money I'll need to spend now, and that definitely involves math. So yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed. I really hope my video was actually decent to sit through because I like video editing too. Take care. Bye. Have a wonderful winter break.